Hello everyone, Julie Birschbach coming to you live from the Hive. I'm actually upstairs today doing the live, so hopefully some of you people, hang on. There we go. Maybe I should actually get on the right one. Hello everyone again, Julie Birschbach coming to you live from the Hive in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And I had to move upstairs today to do the live, so it took me a little bit longer to set up. So let's see here. Let's see, I got Yvonne here, and I've got Mary Novak from Kansas, and Nancy Sue, I see you're here too. Okay, so today we get to make 3 beautiful cards, and I'm going to share them with you. They are, let me pop this down so I can show you what I'm doing. They are from the Delicate Pines, and the cards look really fancy, I think. So we're gonna go through them. This will be our first card, and it's gonna be Merry Christmas. Everything is die cut for you, so it's basically this one we just get to assemble. We're gonna do a little bit of stamping on the back, or on the inside actually. I always put my inside on the back for people for class before I glue it inside, but I do glue it inside later, okay? That's card number 1. And card number 2, I'm going to show you how we're going to actually use some Versamark, and we're also going to use color to get it to give us that pigmentation that we want, okay? And then our last card is with the cloud cover, and we're going to show you how we put that together. Okay, is everyone ready to get started? Hi, Sherry Martin. Hi, Suzanne. Let's see who I have listed here. Let me grab my class list here and see who is. So the ones who bought the kits online are Sandy Coy Emery, Angelique Schaefer, Doris Monson, Sue Esworthy, Chris Dudaranke, and Marge Heisey. So those are the ones that are going to be getting the class from me online. And then I am going to be teaching the class tonight at 6 o'clock. And we have about, let me see, 9 to 10 people taking the class today. So I'm thinking this was a pretty popular card that everybody liked. So I am going to pop back down here and we're going to get going and start these cards, okay? Let's see here. We're going to start with our card number 1. We're going to pull that out. And set our little pieces aside. You should have 3 of these little pine cone pieces right like that. You should also have some of the berry gems, and you're going to have a die cut piece, a big one, and then you're going to have 2 smaller ones, okay? So I'm going to set the card up here so I can just kind of glance at it so I can refresh myself. I did make these cards quite a while ago, so first thing what we're going to do is get the rest of our pieces out of here. You will have Merry and you will have Christmas. I did not save the little dot above the I for Christmas. My thought was I think it's going to get lost in your envelope, so I was just like, we'll be okay with that, and we'll go from there. So let's get a little glue happy. Let's get a little bit of our gluing done. Some pieces out of our way. We're going to fold and burnish that. And then, if you noticed, you're going to have 2 green pieces, and one is going to be plain for stamping your inside, and the other one is embossed. And you're going to notice you can use this either on the top or the bottom. The piece is the same size. So I'm going to use it on the top. Let's see, who else do we have here? Nancy, first time watching. Nice to meet you. Thanks, Nancy. I'm glad you're watching. Christine Robinson, you're from Iowa. Cool. Yes, there are a few card kits left. I believe I have about 3 to 4 card kits left, okay? So I'm gonna start getting some of these pieces down, so bear with me. This is my new glue today, so it might decide to ooze out. Sometimes they like to, when they're brand new, they like to ooze out. So we're just gonna get this on the front of our card first. Line that up. Then we're going to take the next piece. This is embossed, and let me see if I have written down what I embossed it with. I think it's Tasteful Textiles. I would have to double check on my PDF. I don't always have all those on my little notes here, but okay, we're gonna get this right in the center here, like that. Next, we're gonna take this circle, and this is with the earthen texture paper. I'm gonna make sure I got all my little pieces popped out of there. Don't always do that ahead of time. There we go. All right, who else we got there? Nancy M. I'm on the north shore of Lake Erie. Ooh, cool. In Canada though, okay. I don't think that I am able to ship to Canada. We're gonna get this right up here in the center. Oops, I noticed I missed him. Popping one of them out. Get him out of there. So we're gonna get him right over here. Centered and towards the top, okay? What I'm gonna do with the Merry and the Christmas, because they're so tiny, is I'm gonna actually take some glue and I'm gonna get this on here, and I'm gonna set these off to the side so that they can get tacky, and that way I can put them on without having the glue kind of ooze all over. If I can get it to start coming out here. So basically I'm just kind of randomly adding a few little dots. Now you could use the other paper that Stampin' Up! Has, where it would make it sticky. I just chose not to go that route, because after I've learned this technique, I'm okay with that. So let's get this one tacky as well, and we'll also get the M and the C for the Merry Christmas as well. All right. Does anyone else do this, or do you use the adhesive sheets to make it easier? Let's see here. See if I can get a little more glue on here. There we go. Oh, and we got to do the M yet. Can't forget that. If you have a reversible tweezers, you can definitely use that. It'll help to when you hold them. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna let those get sticky so we can get back to them a little bit later. The first thing you're gonna do is you're going to take these little pieces and you're gonna actually cut them in half, because they're short and we need them to go all the way through. There we go. So if you look at this, what I did was I wanted these greens to come out of here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna use a glue dot, and we're gonna put one on the bottom of these little pine leaves, I guess that you call it, the pine branches, and I'm gonna attach that to the back holding it that way, but so that I can kind of see where I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna just keep working my way around there, okay? We're gonna get all 6 of them on there. So, anyone have plans? All right, Nancy, you're asking me, are my PDFs in the IH Inspirational Hive? No, they are not in the Inspirational Hive, but I do sell the PDFs also, and there again, I'm not sure how that works with it being in Canada. So, if you can help me out on that, I mean, if I could, I definitely would ship to you. I don't have a problem shipping to anybody, but I don't get to make up those rules, apparently. That is something I think Stamping Up has, or whatever, has decided for us. Not sure who has decided that. Okay, I'm going to continue getting these around here. The other thing you could do would be, you could have put some tear and tape on there as well, if you didn't want to do the glue dots. They are a little more time consuming possibly, but they do work. There we go. One more. Oops. Guess it would help if I grabbed the green. The stamps that I'm using is, it's called Delicate Pines, and I can show that to you again. It's this stamp set is what I'm using, the Delicate Pines, and I also use the die cut and the paper, the Elegant Pine Snowflakes DSP is what it was. That's the paper that I used, okay? All right, so now that we've got that all together, what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to put that on here. So I am going to add a little bit of glue here. I am getting ready to leave later tonight. We are heading to Tennessee to see my daughter and her husband and her daughter and her new baby. So so yeah, that's kind of exciting news. I'm gonna get this right on the center here. Now you could use some tear and tape on here also, because we are using it against the shiny, elegant, earthen textured paper. So, all right. Next, we're gonna take our 2 little pieces that were die cut for you. Better close up my glue here before I have glue all over. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put those 2 together, and there again, I'm gonna just use a glue dot to hold the 2 together, and then we're gonna pop it up. So, okay, let's grab one of those. If you don't want to use glue dots and you just want to use tear and tape, or you just want to use glue, that's your choice. Like, it's not going to make a difference in the way that you do it. Okay, so now we've got that, and let me grab some dimensionals, or a dimensional. I'm going to use a large one because it's actually going to go right over the center here. Okay. Turn it the way I want it, right, like that. Okay, now I'm going to take the cluster of the berries, and those 3 actually are together, and we're going to put them over the top of the berries that are on that green piece. Now, grab the tweezers. I am going to grab this with the tweezers. I'm going to put the Christmas on first, only because I need it to go down here towards the bottom. There we go. And I'm going to grab the C. Oh, maybe. Okay. And we're going to put the C right before the Christmas. There we go. See how nicely that worked, where I don't have the glue that's kind of like squishing out on us? Okay, let me grab the Mary here. And let's grab the M. There we go. So now we have the Merry Christmas on there. We have two more little red gems, and I'm going to add one over here. And I'm going to add one over here, just to kind of fill in those spots a little bit. Okay, so now we have the front of the card done. Let me flip this around so I can see which one I used on the inside here. We are using Celebrate the Season. And I'm going to grab Shaded Spruce ink. So we're going to use the Shaded Spruce ink, and then what we're going to do is grab the stamp that says Celebrate the Season, and that's going to go on top here. And then we are also going to use the greens for in the inside. Okay. Get my stuff out of the way here. Okay. Let's start with this. Okay, let's get this right like that. There we go. That looks good. And now we're going to do some greens. So what I did on my card was I did first and second strength on the greens down in the corner. And I made sure that they came off the edge of the page a little bit, just so that it doesn't look like they're hanging out in outer space. So that's the inside, how I stamped. Close this up. And then all we have to do is glue this together and put it in the inside, and we actually have one card done. Stampin' Up with Mama G. Hello. Nice that you could join me. I hope these cards are something you enjoy, and I hope that they inspire you to purchase this set. I really like this set. It's very pretty. Makes very elegant looking Christmas cards. And there we go. We are now finished with card number 1. So, very elegant. It gives you a nice Christmas card to send out. It's really not quite too high. Sometimes we get a little bit over creative with our embellishments, and then the cards are a little bit high when we send them out. But then we just put a little more postage on them, I guess. So, okay, card number 1 is done. I'll set that out of the way here. Let's see if I can find a stamp and scrub so I can clean up my stuff here. Don't want to be using the wrong colors later. Okay. All right, card number 1 is done. On to card number 2. Make sure I got the right one here for you guys. Let me grab it. Yep, this is card number 2. Okay. Again, very elegant, but a little bit different. So we're going to go through and we're going to figure that one out and show you how it's done. Okay, let me grab my supplies. take it apart and you open it up. I did do some pre-stamping, but I will definitely walk through all of that with you. I'm going to set my pieces off to the side. You're going to have one little star gem, and we're going to put that out of the way. You actually only have one of these, and we are actually going to cut that in half as well. Okay, there we go. This is for stamping your large snowflake. So I'll show you how we're going to stamp that, and then you would die cut that. And lots of fuzzies on me today. This will be for stamping the 2 snowflakes. I gave you extra space because we're gonna heat emboss those. So I wanted to give you a little extra for when you're doing that, okay? Lay that piece out of the way so I don't lose that one. All right. And I have all kinds of little pieces floating in here today. And you're going to have one of these, just one of these little greens. And this is in Pretty Peacock. Okay. Christine Robinson. So pretty. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Suzanne. Oh, it's Maria. Hi, Maria. I thought that was you when I kind of looked at the picture, but I wasn't sure. Hi, Melanie. Oh yeah, you will love this bundle if you get this one. Trust me, it's definitely an awesome one. Okay, we're gonna have some little pine cones here, and kind of the same concept as before. We're gonna take these, and normally I have about 3 or 4 reversible tweezers. Christine has one up here, so I will just get creative and I will move on. Normally I will get them all full of the glue, and then I'll set it off to the side because then I can just grab the tweezers instead of trying to pick them up again every time. But let's see if I can get a little bit of glue on these. But right now I have all of my tweezers are actually packed for when I leave, because I have a bunch of stamping stuff that I'm trying to catch up on. And I'm also hoping that I can design my February cards. I have December and January here that I will share with you of my upcoming classes. And then when I get February's done, I will actually share February, March, and April cards with you. So not sure if you caught that I will be gone for the month of February, March, and April. So I will pre-record all the classes, and Christine will release them when they need to go out for the class. I will not be doing any in-person classes in February, March, or April. So that's going to be a little different for me, but we'll make it through there. Okay, let's set some pieces off to the side. Get those going later. And you're going to have a piece of the paper, the designer series paper. That was the, I just said it before. Now I'm just totally lost my train of thought what it was called. It is it in the pine, or is it elegant pine snowflakes DSP. Okay, and that's the piece that I took, or yes, that's where it's from. Okay, so we're gonna get that going. I'm gonna fold and burnish this real good. We're gonna glue this piece right down to the front. I've been working on writing a lot of PDFs lately, so I kind of lost track of the names of papers because I've been using several others designer series paper as well, so forgive me if I forgot the name of it, but I tried. Okay, got that there. We're gonna take these two pieces and we're gonna, if you noticed, I die cut it right out of the center there, and we're gonna glue these two pieces together. Okay. These are from Textured Notes, I believe, and that's where the label also comes from. So let's get these together. And these two pieces are actually, after they're together, they get popped up on the front of your card. Okay. Just make sure when you're putting your glue on that you're not putting it in that spot there where I used to die cut. I'm just trying to do some paper conservation. Okay. That's going to go on there and that's going to get popped up, but we're going to assemble here first. Okay. Let's get a little bit of stamping done. So our label, it's the most magical time of the year. Grab that, and let me grab the ink. The ink color that we're using is Pretty Peacock. Okay, so let me open that up. We're gonna stamp the stamp the label here. I might have to get my head in here because this is a pretty tiny label. There we go. That turned out good. Let me see what I've got in the inside. Inside I have Celebrate the Season. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside right away. That way I can just be done with the verbiage. And I'm going to put Celebrate the Season right up here at the top. Okay. And then what I did, oh, I don't think I pulled that piece out. I did not. Or I did, but I didn't bring it over. Hang on. I got it right here. I was hiding it. Okay, I'm going to use, from the stamp set, I'm going to use this little piece for in the inside, and I'm going to stamp, I'm going to rotate it and stamp again. So it's I'm stamping twice with the same thing without re-inking it. And I'm going to put him down here in the corner. There. And then we're going to rotate him. And we're going to stamp again. That's going to give us that kind of cool look. It looks like we used actually 2 ink colors and we only used 1. Okay. So that part is done. I'm going to set him off to the side because we will glue him in a little bit. I'm going to show you how I do this, okay? So, grab those papers. So to do this, and this is heat embossed, and it's heat embossed with clear, okay? So what I did was I took the large snowflake here, and you have to do it in the correct order or you will wreck your, excuse me, you'll wreck your Versamark. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna stamp, ink it up really good in your Versamark. Okay. After that, you're gonna now set that off to the side. You're gonna go right into your Pretty Peacock. And then you're going to stamp this on here. Now, because you put the Versamark on it first and then the Pretty Peacock, it's actually going to be sticky. So you can actually pull this off now, and then you're going to use clear Versamark powder, and then you'll heat emboss it. So that's how it's going to look. You can, if you don't want to heat emboss, you don't have to. You could just stamp in the Pretty Peacock only if that's what you would like. But I did the clear emboss on it. It just gave it a little more of a raised look and a little bit of a shine. Okay, So that's how we would do that piece. I'm gonna set that out of the way for now. And then what you're gonna do for the little ones, and I'm gonna have to clean that up here. Get that, because I used that and I don't want to get any of that ink in my Versamark. As long as I'm cleaning, I'm gonna clean all of them. And then I'll be all done with that part. Let's see, what else do we use? This one. And this one. There we go. Okay, so kind of the same concept with this one, only we aren't putting it in any ink, okay? So basically this one, what we're gonna do is we're going to stamp in the Versamark. We're gonna stamp it on the Pretty Peacock paper. We're gonna stamp another one in the Versamark and then the Pretty Peacock paper. And then what you would do is you would take your white Versamark, or I'm sorry, your white embossing powder, and you would put white embossing powder on that, and then you would heat set it. And that will give you these little pieces. Okay? That's how we do those. So let me get the Versamark out of the way here. And oops, let me clean this one up so that we have all clean stamps for our next card. This one's getting a little dry. I'm gonna need to get a little water on that one. Okay. So let me get some of my stuff out of the way. Whoa, I set it right on that, didn't I? I did. Figure that. Okay. My pine cones are, I can see that they're very tacky. I don't know if you can see that, but there's very little like white glue anymore. So they're really tacky. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna now put them together here. That way they're just together and they're out of, before I stick my fingers in them. Okay. All right. There's two. And we're going to get one more. And we'll have all three of them. There we go. All right. We can set them off to the side. Now we're going to get a little assembly going. So when I look at this card, let me pull it out for you. I can see that the only thing that I popped up was this center piece. Okay. So all the rest of this is laying flat, okay? So now we have to figure out how we're gonna be able to assemble this with that. So we're gonna start by taking, oops, both of these greens. We're gonna cut both of them in half. There we go. It's kind of like, I think they say it's kind of like you're being like a florist, where they tuck things in here and they tuck things in there before they actually finish it out. So, all right, I think I've got all my little, whoops, there's a few more little pieces stuck in these. Okay, that one's all good. So what I'm gonna do now is I need to know that this is gonna go here. So I'm going to just lay it there. I'm going to want to tuck this under here. And I know that I'm going to want to tuck this under here. How much you glue it down is your choice. You can add a lot of glue or a little bit of glue. And I am going to go with the little bit of glue thing. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to let this piece lay here, knowing that this is where I want it, is right about here. Gently lift it up, and I'm going to tuck the silver piece underneath. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit of glue on it. Holding it down, I'm going to gently lift it up, and I'm going to tuck that one right about there. That's the way I'm going to work with this. I'm going to go do the pine cones next. Add a little bit of glue to the back of them. And I want a pine cone right up in here in this corner. I'm going to put 2 more pine cones. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to tuck one in here. And grab the next one. And we're going to tuck him down here with this guy. Okay, there we go. Now we have these little greens yet that we're going to tuck in here. So you can do it the same way if you want, or you can add a glue dot. This time I'm going to put some, actually a glue dot on this one, just because I want to make sure that I get it tucked in there where I want them. Okay, and I'm going to put him right, the glue dot on the top, and I'm going to wrap part of it around the back, maybe. There we go. All right, same concept. I'm going to lift this up, tuck it in where I want. Now, this is the tricky part, because if I push down, it's going to stick. So I'm going to lift up gently. And I just lost my other green. Oh my goodness, it's right on my pokey thing, isn't it? There he is. Okay, one more glue dot. You probably all saw that it was stuck on my little poker and I was like lost in left field. Okay, and this one I'm gonna put right about in here, so it's kind of with my pine cones. Okay, there we go. That's where he's gonna go. Now I can add my glue to here. See, now I showed you just how to be a florist, I guess, because they just lift and tuck, and that's what we just did. Okay, now we can easily pop this piece back on here. There we go. Give it a little bit of time so that it can sit. Okay, nice. Now let's use a glue dot, and let's put these 2 pieces together with a glue dot. Sometimes glue dots are my favorite friend here because they just make things go a lot faster, don't they? Okay, same concept as before, only this is the ones that you stamped. And there we go, we've got them together. We're going to add a large dimensional on the back of it, like so. And then we're going to be able to put that right in the center here. There we go. And then don't forget our gem. Okay, get our little star gem right in the center. Okay. Now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of here. So let me grab what I have. I'm going to grab some dark ones because I have more of them right now. And sometimes I like when it's dark colored paper and dark color here. I like using the dark dimensionals because chances are people aren't going to see it as easily as you would the white. Okay, so let's get those all peeled off. There we go. Okay, and it's going to go on the front of your card, and it's just going to center it right in the front of your card. There we go. We're going to add this up to the top here. And if you notice, there's only a little bit of it that hangs over the edge here, so I'm not going to worry about that so much. Over here I am going to add a small little black dimensional. Okay, and then a little bit of glue. And there we go. We're going to put him right up here at the top. Now, let's see. Is this one hanging off too much here? If he's hanging off too much, we can add, maybe I'll just add a small half of a dimensional. It's really hard sometimes to cut these little ones in half, but we can. There we go. And I can just slip him right up here and take off the backing. Then I can have it attached. All right. And let's put the inside together, and then we can add the inside to that. So I am going to share with you guys at the end some past classes that I have. And if anybody's interested in those, you can let me know. You can send me an email. It is juliebirschbach@gmail.com. I will make sure that I put my paper up here with that information for you. That is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, is with an email. You can text me, but I don't always get to answer them right away either. Okay, there we go. That is card number 2. Okay, make sure I've got it here so you guys can see it. There we go. So 1 or 2 so far is your favorite. Anyone have a favorite so far? 1 or 2? I'm liking 2 a lot, but I'm not sure what anyone else. I kind of like the pretty peacock type color. Thought it was something a little bit different for Christmas. Okay. Then we have 1 more card to go, which is this one. And this one is using the cloud cover. And we will be stamping the little snowflakes, and we're going to have lots of sparkly greens that go with that one, okay? Oh, I'm glad that you're starting to like this bundle, Connie. I'm really happy. That makes me happy, because that makes me know that I've done my job if somebody likes that one. Thank you, Susan. I'm glad that you liked card number 2. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions before I try to empty out all the supplies here? I did stamp these ahead of time, and the reason I did was so that I had them already die cut so that we could use them as we needed to, okay? So we're gonna get those pieces off to the side. Got a little piece of cloud cover ribbon. And these are actually called flowers, but I don't know. They looked like a snowflake to me, and they figured that it was kind of a bluish, kind of like that cloud cover color. It's hues of blue flowers is what it's called, but I thought that one worked really good with this. So you're gonna have 2 labels. What we're gonna do is cut the dark one in half, and then we're gonna be able to line them up at the edges here. Okay, oops. We have 3 of these little guys. This is for stamping your large snowflake. This one's for stamping your little snowflake. I did some paper conservation here, so I cut your label out of this piece, and I also cut your other label out of the embossed piece. And then we have a white piece for the inside. So let's get some of these pieces out of our way. I'm going to start by burnishing this. what we need to do is we need to attach this piece to the front. Now, full disclosure, this piece is going to be the same size as your outside mat, the outside of your card. So if by chance, and I'm going to put it right out there, if by chance that I cut it too big, you will need to use your paper trimmer and trim that a little bit, okay? So if it's going to stick off the edge here, you're going to want to make sure that you trim it, okay? So I think I'm okay. If I put this on here, I think mine lined up. Just that it lined up, okay? If you want it a little bit smaller, by all means, use your paper trimmer and just trim a little bit off the edge if you don't like it to be like completely covering the front, okay? So I'm gonna glue this on here, get this out of our way. This piece, whoops, get a little bit right there. All right. I'm just going to open this up. It's just a little easier sometimes for me to line things up when I have that. There we go. Okay. Push them on there tight. There we go. Now, you can go ahead if you wanted to, and you could easily glue these two pieces together, but we're going to stamp on this piece before we get that far. So we better do the stamping first. Let me grab my cloud cover. And it's been a while since I did this card, so please bear with me. I have to see which stamp set stamp I used. I actually used this one. So I used this one, which, let me show you, is this little guy, and I did the stamp and the stamp so that it kind of filled it in, okay? I just didn't want this completely bare. So let's open this up. Let's stamp on here, and let me just stamp it here for you. Okay. If you don't want it that dark, we can flip it over, stamp off, and you can stamp, but it's hard to see it when it's kind of light. So I like the little bit of the darkness of it showing. Sometimes this one is a little hard to line up. Okay. And just randomly, there is no certain rhyme or reason. I just thought maybe it would soften up the outside of this piece a little bit. Oops, get it there. And we're gonna stick one more in here. Most of it will be covered up anyway, so it's just going to give it a little bit difference of a background, okay? Let's get that out of the way. So with this piece, this is the piece that we're going to use the cloud cover on, and we're going to stamp our large snowflake right in the center. And then we're going to take the small one, and we're going to use this small snowflake, and we're going to stamp him right in the center of this one, okay? And then what you would do is you would die cut both of these out, okay? I'm going to set these off to the side so I can die cut them later, use them for another card. As long as we're stamping, we're going to get Warmest Winter Wishes, and that is also from this stamp set. We're going to stamp that on our label. There we go. And then, as long as I'm stamping, let's see what I got. We've got Celebrate the season in the inside. So let me grab that. Then we'll be all done with our stamping. Celebrate the season. And then we're going to go back to this small little guy, and we're going to put him in the corner here, the double again, okay? Only this time I did not make it lighter, I made it the same color. So 2 dark ones, okay? There we go. Get him out of our way. All right, so we should be all done with stamping. I'll be able to clean up my stamps here quickly, and then we can continue. So, does anybody have any questions as I'm cleaning my stamps here? Anyone have anything exciting they want to share? Any news? Did anyone have extra team members join their team when Stampin' Up! Had the amazing sale going on, or the sign-up bonus going on? I know they had wanted, it was interesting because I just watched that they had wanted 6,000, they were hoping they would get 6,000 new demonstrators to sign up. And they ended up with like, the time when I watched, I think it was, they had 16,000 new demonstrators. Now, I know that's not just in the United States. I know that's all of the places that they do their sign up in too. But that's a lot, 10,000 over what they were hoping to, get. So that's great. I hope most of those people stay and most of those people continue to stamp, because they do offer a lot of really nice stamp sets. So, all right, I'm gonna buzz back down here and we're gonna finish up our last card so I can share some other things with you, okay? Okay, so on to our last card. We are going to, I'm gonna actually glue this baby right in the inside so we can get him out of our way before we assemble. There we go. There. All right, that's inside. So now we can go ahead and we can finish this piece. So we're going to glue this. You have a very, very skinny border here. Okay. Get a little glue happy. And there we go. Okay. I'm going to make sure I have these little pieces poked out. They're kind of like little snowflakes. This is from Snowflake Kisses. This is where that die comes from for the label. Okay, make sure these are all popped out. There we go. We're going to take our paper scissors and we're going to snip that in half. And then I am going to add some glue. Oh gosh, I just can't pick anything up today. I don't know. All right, we're going to add a little bit of glue here. And we're going to assemble these two, making sure that we're letting those snowflakes show on both ends. Or on the end there, the blue one and the white one. Okay. Then we're going to grab the next one. We'll get some glue on there. And there we go. Now we have them together. And we are going to add the ribbon right away. So if you take your ribbon, you have a very small piece because you're not going to need much of it. We're going to grab our ribbon scissors and we're going to cut that in half. Grab some tear and tape. We're going to make a tear and tape sandwich on the back of the label here for that. So I want it to go right down around by the word wishes. So add a little tear and tape to the back. Get that off of there. And then I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to put them on an angle. There we go. And I'm going to make that sandwich in the back with my tear and tape. And I'm going to just let that now. I'm not going to trim those till after I get them on my card. So now we're going to need to start assembling our snowflakes that we die cut here. So if we look, we can attach our snowflake right here. So we want to go into the smaller part. So I'm going to take a glue dot. This is a lot of glue dots that I used this time, but they worked. We're going to add that right to the center. And you can put it right in the middle of the snowflake. We're going to continue with the other ones. Same thing, same concept, right around. It's best if you take the glue dot and just add it right to the back. And then you can work your way around, lining everything up in the middle. And one more. There we go. And there we go. So now we have our bottom. Oh gosh, lots of stuff is sticking on me today. So now we have our bottom snowflake all done. So we can actually take him and we can adhere him to the front of our card here. We want this top piece to go off just a little bit of a smidgen, because when we put it on the front of our card, it's going to go like this. It's going to be flat, but we also want to be able to make sure that we have a little bit of room down here for our label and also room for our ribbon. So I think I made it a little bit, I made it a little bit bigger on your card. So actually on your card, we can actually put it right in the center. So go ahead, grab your glue. Let's get this piece glued down before we get our snowflake on there. So go ahead and add some glue to the back. And you're going to be covering up that piece. So what we're going to do is just center it right on the front of your card. There we go. And go ahead and add glue to the back here. And one of those up towards the top. There we go. All right. So we've got that one on there. Next, what we have to do is we have to assemble this one. We're going to do it the exact same way that we did the other one, but we're going to go, I don't know if you can see like these look like they're full and these just look like a little sprig off here. The little sprig part is actually where we're going to be playing kind of connect the dots. And I'm going to go ahead and use glue dots on this one again. So it's nice, kind of nice how they made it just the right size so that it fits on the back there. Line him up right in the center. Grab another one. And put him right there. And last but not least, that one. Okay. so now we have the top snowflake. Remember, we put all those dimensionals there, so that's going to be popped up. Or all the glue dots, I'm sorry, not dimensionals, all the glue dots. So it's actually, there's some depth here, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put dimensionals on the outer edge, but not in the center of this one. Because when I put it on here, those are gonna act as a dimensional. So let me grab the white ones. And we're gonna put some of these on the outer edges here. One more. Oh gosh. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna peel them off and we're gonna get them on the front of our card. There we go. Is everyone ready? I hear Wisconsin, our area is supposed to be getting some snow, which I'm not very thrilled about, but I'm not going to be here, so I'm okay. I'm going to actually take a glue dot, and I'm going to put it right on the top of this so that it helps to get this piece to stick. There we go. That's how we've got that. We're gonna add, oh, hang on. I need to grab a drink here. There, hopefully that's better. Okay, then we're gonna add our hues of blue flower that we've got. We're gonna add that right to the center of our snowflake. Still got that frog in there. And we're gonna add this right to the bottom of this piece, okay? I am gonna pop it up though, so let's get some dimensionals here. And I'm gonna throw a couple little ones in here. There we go. Squeeze one right up there. Okay, yep. Sometimes it's all a matter of placement. There we go. So I want to cover up this white piece here. So I'm going to make sure that my label is all the way down to the bottom, like so. Okay. And then, last but not least, we're going to do a little trim here. Now, you can have them go this way or you can have them go that way, whichever choice you would like. There we go. One more. Okay. That'll work. And that is card number 3, because we already did the inside. We already added the inside to it. So, card number 3. So, after all of the cards, can you tell me which one is your favorite? I know Christine does this all the time too. It's really hard sometimes to pick a favorite, but I don't know. I thought they were actually pretty easy to put together. Not sure what your thoughts are on that. If you think they're an easy card. A lot of dimensionals, or I'm sorry, a lot of glue dots were used on all 3 cards. Made it a little bit easier for when we did some assembly. So I hope you like these. I'm gonna flip back here to myself and tell me, everyone, if there's anyone that you liked more than the other. Thanks, Nancy. I'm glad you like them all. Yeah, it's really hard. They're each different, and yet they're all kind of unique. Okay, let me get rid of these and let me share some other awesome things with you. Okay, hang on while I grab them. I have to figure out where I set them. Okay.
So hopefully, now you can start talking because I feel like you're live now.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. It looks like it's spinning on the phone yet, but hopefully okay. I'm live.
Yep. Switcher Studio gave us a hi everybody. Switcher Studio did a little hiccup-a-rooing. See, they're back.
There we are. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna.
Pretty seamless. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna flip back down to the camera here and we'll get going. All right, so back to my classes. This is my December Be Creative card class. It is gonna be featuring branching out. So let me share with you the cards, and I'm gonna take them out of the envelope because it's easier to see. This is one of them. Basically what you would need is you would need the stamp set, and everything else will be die cut for you that needs to be cut. So that's card number 1. Well, it might not be number 1. That's just the first one I grabbed. There we go. Here is this another card. All of these pieces will be die cut for you. Okay. And then I'm going to show you the last card that is in this stamp set, or the one that I'm offering. This will be the last card. So again, you would need the stamp set to stamp that, but your other pieces will be die cut for you. Okay. Yep, I'm back. Nancy, thanks for telling me that the clock needs to be changed above the door. I told Christine that and she laughed and she said, ask Nancy if she wants to come over and do it. So I'm asking you. I don't know. I said, we'll see. So, okay, that's the December one. Hang on, I have January. Let me share that with you. So, here is January. That one will be on Wednesday, January 14th at 3 o'clock will be the live, and 6 o'clock will be the in-person class, okay? So, take these out of the envelopes for you. Here is one of the cards. So basically all we're gonna be stamping on this one is the happy birthday, and we're gonna use some Versamark, and we're also gonna use some white embossing powder. Otherwise everything is die cut for you. And on to the next card. This one is the second one. I'll tell her that Tyler's tall enough to do it and see what, maybe if I run into Tyler, I'll tell him that you said that. Otherwise, yeah, you could do a road trip. That'd be awesome. Okay, thinking of you is what I put on this. Basically, all you're gonna need to do is stamp a sentiment on this one as well. And then your last card. I made this one into a sympathy card. Now, by all means, you do not need to make it into a sympathy card if you do not want. You could easily stamp a happy birthday there. You could stamp a thank you. You could stamp happy birthday, whatever, anniversary. I think there's a lot of options there, but yeah. So this is my third card. These are the January cards. They are using basically the dies that I used were Light and Wonder, Autumn Trees, Everyday Arches. The stamps that I used on these I pulled from Sweet Jars, 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar, The Right Words, and Mixed Label Stamps. But you could use any of them that you would like. Okay, let me move on here. I am going to show you one more time. This is the last time I'm showing them. These are my 14 Christmas cards that I have. I have one set left for sale yet, and these I'm going to show you. It's $50 for the 14. So basically all you need to do is stamp a sentiment on the inside. Okay. Card number 2. Sentiment is what you need. Everything else is die cut and sentiment in the inside. This is heat embossed sentiment and a sentiment on the inside. This is sentiment that you need, and you need some blends to color that in, obviously. And then a sentiment for the inside. If you have a holly berry and you want to add it, that's fine. Okay. Here we just need a sentiment as well. Again, sentiment Everything else is die cut for you. Sentiment again. Here you have a deer. You're going to have to look, because if your deer is facing the other way, you're going to want to move your label over to the right hand side. Here you need a sentiment. Another one that you just need a sentiment. All your pieces are die cut for you. One more that you need a sentiment on. And I do have those gems, and then you'll get those with you. Nope, my PDFs are not in the Inspirational Hive. And the reason is because they're not Christine's PDF, they're my PDFs. So, yeah, if you want the PDFs, like I said, I do sell the PDFs if you can get those instead of the kits, you can do that too. Okay. This one you would need the stamp set for, so that you could stamp the shepherd and the sheep, and then also the star, and then the words, peace on earth. This one is a snowman and Christmas cheer. If you don't have that snowman, you could easily stamp any other snowman on there, or you could stamp a snowflake on there if you'd really want to. Okay. This card, all you need is a sentiment to stamp through the center of there. Everything else is die cut for you. And this one as well, all you need is the sentiment. I have everything else that's die cut for you. Okay, so that is my 14 Christmas cards, and I have only one set of those left. So if you want that, please reach out to me. I'm just gonna set this up here. Just let me grab the other one, it's a little easier to see. I'm gonna set this up here so that you can see, here's my email address, and that way you know where to send your message to. Okay, I'm gonna go through. I have some card kits left. Okay, let me share with you what I have. And if you want any of these, please reach out to me. So these are the 3 January cards that I have. I'm going to put them out here like this so you can see all 3 of them. Okay? If you're interested in that, I have 4 of these card kits left. So reach out to me with an email if you're interested, and I will get them to Christine if you need them mailed. All right, on to the February cards. These are the February 3 cards that I have. And I have 5 of those kits left if anyone is interested in those. Okay. On to the March. This one, I don't know. I really liked them, and I guess nobody else liked them as much as I did, but it's a lot of coloring, a lot of die cutting. Maybe that was what it was. I'm not sure. I have 10 of these kits left. So if anybody's interested in these, you don't have to make it Easter. You could easily make it just hello friend. You could say happy birthday. There's a lot of options there. So I just thought those were very pretty cards, but apparently that's not what anybody wanted. All right, on to April. These are the 3 cards that were offered for April, and I have 3 of those kits left. So I have everything is die cut for you already. Okay, all you would need to do is stamp sentiments and assemble, obviously. I always forget that I have to say assemble because I do not assemble them for you. This is May. Definitely guy cards. I liked those, and I thought they were really cool. I think everybody else did too. I have 2 of those kits left, and only 2. I like the paintbrushy thing. It's like, I like the hammery thing. I don't know. I thought they were cool. Okay, on to June cards. June, June, June. June. Here we go. Beautiful flowers. I did a sympathy again. I had other people that just did a happy birthday on it. Actually, this is one piece and we just cut it to make it look like a pot. And then I did an anniversary there, and here one that just says, "You make me smile." So that is June, and I have 2 of these kits left. Okay. On to July. July only has 2 kits left too. These are gorgeous. I just love, 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 love this paper. I thought it was so awesome. And it just made beautiful cards. Even though I was told this one looks like a Packer card, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. So that is June, or I'm sorry, that is July. And there are 2 of those kits left. On to August. August was the sweet jar. Okay. We did birthday candles in a jar. We did some cookies, and we did some pretty lavender flowers. I showed on the live when I did this one, you could also make this into a sympathy card if you want. You could make it into a birthday card. So on my live, I did it as a sympathy instead of a thank you card. So that is August, and there's 7 of these kits left. So if you are interested in that, please reach out to me. And then we are going to go on to September. September. Oh, I love these. Those were so pretty. Such cool birthday gift or birthday cards. And I have 7 of these kits available if anyone is interested in those. Okay. Basically, you need sentiments. I will give you a lot of the glasses were just, we used paper so we could die cut them. Okay, that is September. And then we're gonna move on to October. October was a bonus month. October, I did 4 cards because they were just so beautiful. I'm just like the paper, and I just loved that stamp set. So if you're interested in the October cards here, I have 3 of those kits left. Okay, otherwise that's it. But like I said, October had 4 cards in there. So you got a bonus card that month. Okay. Put those back in here. All right, I'm gonna flip back to me, and I hope you guys enjoyed the live today. I hope you got inspired and you actually want to purchase that stamp set and dies. I think they're really nice. And if you want any cards, please reach out to me. I did have my paper up there for a while, so you could easily screenshot. But if you needed to know, it is juliebirschbach@gmail.com. All right? All right, thank you everybody. Thank you for watching me. Hang on here, I'm gonna show you. Let me pull it up on my phone. I want to show you a picture of my new grandbaby. Okay, so let me find the beautiful picture. I'm gonna put my phone down here so you can see, and let me flip down. All right, I'll bring it up here. All right, that is my new grandbaby. So his name is Noah, and that is his sister Emmy, and they live in Tennessee. And I will be heading there later tonight after I'm done with my in-person class. We're gonna head there for a few days, and then we are going to venture down to our place in Florida for a little bit. My husband likes to play the taps for the Veterans Day program where our house is. So he's wanting to do that. So we are going to do that, and then we are going to head back to Tennessee and spend a little more time with our grandbaby before we come back. We'll be back in time for Thanksgiving. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if anybody needs anything, please reach out to me. You can call, text, email, whatever works for you. All right? Thank you. Thanks for watching.